Hey everyone, it's Kai from Kool Collectibles, back again for another review. This time it's the Fans Toys FT-14 Forager, aka Kickback. For all your Transformer needs, click the link in the description below to head on over to Robot Kingdom. They ship worldwide, so definitely check them out. Alright, so it's taken them a while to finally release the last of the Insecticons in this third-party range from Fans Toys, but overall it was definitely worth the wait. They are fantastically well built, but we'll get on to that. Do love the packaging as always. Nice bit of fan art there. Nothing too spectacular, but I do love that they always package in foam, which really does protect the items very well. So I wish more Transformers manufacturers would do that. It comes with the instruction book, and I guess this little warning here is also included in the original instructions, so I'm not sure why they printed it twice, but when a manufacturer is trying to warn you twice with that sort of warning, I think it's probably time to actually listen. So this is around the chrome piece that you take apart there, and not to flex it too far back, because you will snap that right off. So that's a double warning, but I'll show you guys that in a second. It comes with the collector card, which is fairly nice, a nice sturdy shiny sort of plastic type material, with the tech spec stuff on the back there. Comes with the little energon cubes that they all have come with. His chromed weapon, which looks like one of those old style 1930s or whatever it is, mag guns or whatever they call them, from the gangster guns. So that does look pretty nice, and the chrome is fairly well done, so I can't complain about that too much. For some reason it comes with Bombshell's fake little pistol thing, or the thing that sits on his head. I'm not sure why they've given that, to be honest, since the original one already has the little thing, so I'm not sure if they just provided a spare or what, to be honest, because maybe people were having these fall off, I don't know. So if you do know why they included this, post a comment below. Also comes with the G1 toy sort of look for the chest piece. I do like that they've actually painted these little two squares here, so if you do swap it over, it sort of retains that look. Now I was actually considering swapping them over because they do look pretty nice, but unfortunately the other two pieces, or at least the piece for Bombshell, to be cartoon accurate, doesn't have the little grey squares painted in, or this centerpiece, but on the original it does have the grey highlights. If they had done that for this one, just like they've coloured that, I probably would have swapped them all out. But for now, I'll probably keep them all with their sort of standard cartoonish look. But I'll get onto the figure, hold on. Alright, so here is the figure, and overall it is absolutely fantastic. It'll probably be my favourite of the line. It just has a very nice, sturdy, streamlined look to it. It doesn't have, I guess the legs are a little bit less, in that it doesn't have the huge backpacks that the other two have. So it's a very nice sort of streamlined look, and it just screams G1 to me. So definitely love the overall design. The chroming on the wings here is very nicely done. No sort of major issues there, and I'd have to say the chroming is probably better than what I see from Takara these days. It does have the ability at this little hinge here to flex out as well, which will probably look better in the alt mode, but it does look very nice. The rotation around here is pretty tight, so just be careful if you do that. It just does rest up against that in bot mode, so you pretty much just rotate it back like so, and it'll just sit there like that. The breakages that I've seen have been where you have to unclip this section of the ring there to move the arms and so on, but people have been pulling that, and as you get this hinge here, it'll reach a point where it stops, so do not try and push it past that point, because they will snap off. But apart from that, that's probably the most delicate part of the figure. Everything else seems very sturdy. The head is nicely done. It does come with a couple of face plates, which is another, I guess, nit to pick, or something you need to be aware of if you're not too sure. So I can't remember his name. Just let me grab the name of the guy that helped me out on this. Hold on. Yeah, so a fellow collector by the name of Michael Mullins Wright off the Transformers Masterpiece Collectors Group helped me out because I was having trouble trying to get this faceplate sit properly. So as you can see, it's sitting nice and flush against the black helmet here. It does look pretty damn good. That pretty much screams G1 to me. But the way you swap it over, the instructions aren't perfectly clear either, but you do rotate that back and you'll see the alternate faceplate sitting behind there. So what the instructions don't tell you is that there is a little split in half there in the back of the helmet. So you just need to get your fingernails in there and peel that back open like so. And that'll reveal this faceplate here. Now that faceplate, you need to essentially, when you push it through from the front, you need to essentially grab your finger and make sure it is pulled all the way to the top of the helmet. So it essentially needs to sit flush right up against the top like that. If it's not sitting flush like that, when you close this front bit down, you'll see a gap along the top ridge. And I actually thought I had pulled it all the way up, but it was actually down like so. And there is a bit of friction tension there, so you do think that it's reached the point of where it needs to stop. But if you do that, you can't get that to sit flush. So definitely just get your fingernail and pull that all the way to the top of the helmet. But to swap it over, you pretty much just push that down and get your fingernail, which I normally can't do. I need to grab one of my little plastic tools here and just push it down through the hole, and then you'll see it reveal there like so, and then you just push that back through and down pretty much like that, and then you can just clip the two halves of the head. There's a little peg there that you can see right there, so just push and you just pull that together. So I think that's the way that's part of the transformation into the alt mode, but I guess it might be a throwback to the G1 toy look as well, but I definitely prefer this faceplate. That faceplate is probably the best one out of the lot, although Bombshell is pretty damn good too. So I'll just push that back in and get back to the rest of the figure. Hold on. Alright, articulation wise, overall it's pretty damn good. The head has all the usual sort of rotation. I guess you can't really rotate and have it look up too much, or else the faceplate starts to collapse because of that split there. But overall, it's not too big a deal for me. The arms have their motion flexing outwards, which is outstanding, and have the free range of motion there. And you do have the double jointed elbows, as they all do. The lower joint is always a little bit tighter, so just be careful there. You can get a really great range of motion there. There is a bicep swivel there as well. The hip swivel is nicely done, so can't complain there. And full range of motion on the hips as well, so nothing restricting there. They do feel firm on those friction joints. There's no ratcheting or anything like that. And forward and back is really nice as well. The knee joint, it is a double knee joint, so the top joint there, the bottom joint is a lot tighter, so you just need to bend it and you can get an awesome range of motion. So I can't complain about that at all. The ankles, there is the ankle tilt back and forth, so you can get a bit of range of motion there. So you angle it down a bit like that, or angle it back up, and the ankle rocking action is just on the face of the foot there, like so. And it does look pretty damn good when you have him in some of those action poses. So really nothing to complain about. On the back, everything is nice and clean. I mean, I don't display my figures from the rear anyway, but I guess having such a nice form to it, it really does look fantastic. So articulation wise, G1 aesthetics wise, this is a 10 out of 10 for me. If Takara was to bring out their own Insecticons. I'm not sure how they would do much better in the looks department than what Fans Toys have done here. I mean, all the little paint details are just really, really nicely done. The black plastic across the board on this Insecticon line, it's just really high quality black plastic. This whole lower section here, I think though, is there's die cast in there somewhere. The feet, most definitely. I'm just trying to feel for what's feeling a little bit cold. But definitely in the lower half of the legs here, there's definitely some die cast to give it that nice weight and sturdy feeling to it. So in terms of build quality, I can't complain about this at all. Fans Toys have done a fantastic job. And this gold metallic sort of sheen to their chest plates, consistent across the board with bombshell here and shrapnel. I'll just zoom back out. So together, these guys just look pretty much like they just jumped straight out of the cartoon. I guess bombshell, the lower part of the legs, are a little bit chunky, and I guess he sort of looks like that in the cartoon. So I can't complain about that really. The only sort of complaint looking at them like this would be, you know, would have been nice if the knee joints on bombshell were painted in the nice quality silver. Instead of just the grey plastic, but I guess they did that to avoid some of the paint scratches. And Kickback here pretty much has all black joints and so on, so nothing to worry about there. So together in bot mode, these guys look absolutely fantastic. So I'll get Kickback into alt mode. So hold on. All right, the transformation sequence. For the first couple of times, there definitely are a couple of pretty scary moments. And some difficult ones where you do need to be very careful, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. And there are definitely a couple of masterpiece moments for me, at least, which I'll point out when I get to those points. To start off with, you do need to fold the red eye faceplate back up, and as I was saying before, the instructions don't really tell you about the split in the back of the head there, so just make sure you got some fingernails to break the back part of the head apart, like so. If I can just get that on camera, and then you fold the head back, and then essentially, if you don't have small fingers, you do need to pull that back down and push it in as far as you can to expose it like that. Then you can pull it up a little bit, fold that back up, and fold it down like so. And then just make sure you clip the head back together again, like so. And that's pretty much the insect head, like that. So you pretty much turn it around, and that's what he essentially looks like. These do rotate, these rubber ends. They are very soft, so make sure you don't try and pull on these, because they might snap at the base there. What I tend to do is just get my thumb and fingers and just rotate it at the base there, just rotate it up like so. You can futz around with a little bit more to get more of that bug-eyed orientation, but that's pretty much the head. The whole chest and back area here is probably the scariest part and the most confusing part to begin with. The instructions aren't too clear, but I'll show you how it's done. You pretty much start by putting the arms out like so, and this is where the delicate chrome pieces come into play. So you just unclip them from the base there, and you can fold it out to pretty much about that position there. You'll know whether or not there's enough of a gap once you rotate them forward to get this whole centerpiece pushed back out. So you do the same thing on this side here. So it goes to about that angle, so you can probably bend this one a little bit more, like so. And then what you want to do is very gently rotate these arms around, the wings around. And it is a bit tight at the start, and you're not quite sure if you're going to break the damn thing, but they should go to about just below 90 degrees. So as soon as the clip here touches this back part, is pretty much the place to stop. So again, you just sort of hold it at the base here. You don't want to snap the wing off. So just rotate that around gently until it reaches about that point. And when you reach that point, what you'll notice is there is a gap here, that the whole sort of shoulder section at the bottom here can exit out of that gap. So what I tended to do was just grab his insect legs here and gently start pulling out, and you'll see that whole torso section just pop out on this rail here. And I think this railing here is die cast metal, and it needs to be, because it is very tight and delicate there. This whole centerpiece, just fold that down. There's a little peg that you see there, and that pegs into his butt there like that. And on this side, just pull that whole center section out like so. Just make sure you're not pulling on anything you're not meant to be pulling on. Let me see why that's not coming out any further. There we go. And you then just rotate it all the way out like so. Alright, so with the bot mode arms on the outside and the insect legs on the inside, you pretty much need to use this whole assembly bit to swap them around. So you pretty much just close up the arms here to start off with, like so. And then you just sort of start rotating them around. There is a little swivel joint here, so you can just swivel that all the way around like that. So if I just do the same on this side, just you tend to need to really rotate the arms and legs around to get the right orientation. So if you just swap those around like so, so until you get to pretty much that position. And what you want to do, in order to get this whole center piece pushed back in, I think you need to have this piece folded down. So you pretty much need to start rotating these legs around. And what you want to do is fold these arms down. If I just do that on the side there like so. And so just fold his arms down. And these purple parts on the front here, essentially fold it all the way down so that they're facing the back. So if you just sort of hold like that and just keep rotating around like so until it's facing the back. Do the same on this side. Just rotate around like so. And then you try to fold this assembly until the slot is facing essentially 90 degrees like so in that direction. Then you can push it in, and you do the same on this side. So rotate that around, just rotate that like so until, so just keep rotating all of these arms and stuff until you get it looking sort of like this, and then you can pretty much just push that whole assembly back into the slot. Just be careful you don't snap these off by putting your fingers in the wrong spot, but once you get it in there, it's pretty tight. So just slot it in there, make sure the hands slot in like that, and you'll know that it's in properly with these shoulders in the right spot around that ring there. And you'll notice that the feet are a little bit wonky, so you pretty much just rotate those around, rotate it around on that hinge if you can, like so, and so that the feet are facing the right way. So just repeat on this side. So just rotate it around, get that out of the way, rotate it around until the feet essentially look like that. And at this point in time, you can then rotate the wings back around. Unless I should have done that before I pushed them in. No. Let me just figure out how I'm going to pull these wings back. Hold on. Yes, that's right. You have to pretty much fold them back down again, which is very tight once you put the whole chassis back in. So just go very slowly. So what you need to do is put them back so that you can close the ring again. And clip them back in place like that, and then fold it back around again. So once you clip it in place, it'll fit through the little gap in there. So you just need to be careful that it doesn't come off as you're rotating. So just rotate that around like so. So you can see mine almost came apart. You just try and clip it back in place and just keep rotating it around until you get to roughly whatever position you want in the insect mode. So again, on this side, just rotate up so you can fold and clip the ring back again, and that'll give you the clearance to rotate the wing back around. So overall, that is a pretty damn ingenious bit of transformation sequence there, and is probably the masterpiece moment for me for this particular figure. It is a little bit scary, as I was saying, but once you get the hang of it, it's not too bad. So that is pretty much the top part of the insect mode. Onto the legs. The legs, you just fold these purple parts out, and this is pretty clever as well. I do like this bit. You do need to just pull this lower half out, and then rotate up, and you'll hear a clip just like that. So that'll clip it in place. Then you just pretty much fold out the leg like so, fold this top part down, and that is pretty much the bottom half. So again, on this side, just fold everything out, and then just pull it out like so. So you sort of loosen this lower half here that hinges up, and then just clip that in place with that big click there like so, and that'll lock that in place. And then just fold that down like that, and that is pretty much the back legs in insect mode. What they do have in the instructions is there's a little hole here that fits into the handle, and the back just pegs in like so. I think that pegs in just like that. Then you can just pretty much close up his legs there. So that is pretty much it. You just then futz around with the legs, etc., to get it to sit the way you want it to sit, which is a little bit tricky on camera, but you get the idea. So just fold his legs down and so on. And I do like that the wings here have this hinge on the side, so you can splay it out a little bit, rotate them a bit further around, splay them out like so, and it does look very, very nice in this mode. So overall, not too bad a transformation sequence. Probably not as difficult as what's his name, Mercenary, aka Shrapnel. I did have a bit of trouble with the legs on that one, but overall the transformation sequences on these three are pretty damn good. I'm not going to bother trying to transform the other two to give you a look at all of them in alt mode, because that'll probably take me another half an hour. But there's a look at Kickback here, or Forager, in this pretty awesome alt mode. So hopefully you like that look at FT-14 Forager. I don't have any other Masterpiece Transformers coming up anytime soon. Probably the next one will be Delta Magnus in July. But hopefully you can still click that subscribe button. I do have a whole bunch of other figures coming in the 1/6 scale, and also the Tamashii Nations Samurai Star Wars figures come out with the Royal Guard, so hopefully you can stick around for that. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers.